Hello guys, welcome to the training session 2 for Angular 8. I am Prasad Pawar and let's start with the next session for Angular 8. So first of all, we will take an overview of the today's session. So in today's session, we're gonna do an introduction to CLI commands. Then we will see what is the Angular folder structure. Then we will see the Angular components. What is Angular components? Then we will try to create some wireframe for Angular application. Wireframe means a style or design for our Angular application. Then we will create some basic components and apply styles to them by using CSS and Bootstrap. So guys, let's continue. So what is Angular CLI? So Angular CLI makes it easy to start with any Angular project. The Angular CLI comes with commands that helps us create and start our Angular application very fast. So let us now get through the commands which are available to create a project, a component or a service or a change code. So let's see what are the basic CLI commands which we generally use for our Angular application. So the first command is ng new and the project name. So this command is generally used for creating a new project, a new Angular project, and the options for it can be routing. So by adding space hyphen hyphen routing, so it will automatically add a routing file to our Angular application. So the next command is ngserve. These CLI commands is generally used for compiling our Angular application. So it just compiles our Angular application and makes it available on localhost 4200. So the next command we're gonna use is ng generate component and then component name. So this CLI commands is generally used for creating a component. Then the next CLI command is ng generate service and then service name, and it is generally used for create Angular service. So now let's see the Angular folder structure. So let's discuss it in VS Code. So in the yesterday's or in the previous session, we have created our first Angular project, and this is how it looks. And we have compiled it using ngserve command as well. So now we will go through the entire Angular folder structure. So it will give you a better idea about the Angular programming or Angular folder structures. So let's start. So first, this is our Angular project directory, and inside that we have this much Angular folders which are needed for running any Angular application. So the first one is E2E file. So this folder or directory generally used for writing end-to-end testing. So which is for a automated testing framework. So by using this, we can write a test case for testing our Angular application programmatically. So the next directory is node modules. So this is the directory where all the libraries which are required by our Angular application are installed and kept it here. Angular compiler kept all the libraries here. So we can see that all the libraries are present into this node modules folder. So we are having a source folder. So this is the main folder of our Angular application where we write most of our code. So first of all, let's see other files, then we will go into the source folder as well. So then we have a angular.json file. So actually angular.json file is a JSON configuration file. So which has the uh, paths to the main files like index.html, main.ts file. Also it has path to the our assets or styling files, or also we can import some external JavaScript files into this script file. So this is all about this is the high level introduction about this angular.json. We will dive deep inside of it once we gonna use it. So for now, this is all the package angular.json does. So then we have a package.json file. So this is a file where the Angular application keep all the metadata about the Angular application. So like we have our the Angular project name, then version of the project, then which are the scripts we are using into this our Angular application. Also, the package.json file consists of all the libraries, list of the libraries which are used into our Angular application. So whenever we execute npm install or npm I, so it will install all the libraries which are mentioned into this dependency object into our Angular application. So which the libraries which are required for running our Angular application, we just kept all the libraries with their version number into this package.json file. So after doing the npm I or npm install, it installs all the libraries into our Angular application and keep all the libraries into this node modules.folder. So then I think this is it. Now we will go to the source folder. So this is the main folder where we write all of our code, most of the code. So it have a app folder. So this app is a first component which is created by our Angular application. So this is the default component created by Angular application. Second, we have this assets folder. So this assets folder, we keep all the static contents which are used in our Angular application into this folder. The static contents like any images or any fonts, icons, or the static content which we need in our application or website. So we just keep all these files into this assets folder. So we're gonna see the environment file later on. So I'll just explain it its high level use. So suppose if we need any website URL or backend URL in our entire application, so this is not feasible to write that URL into each and every page, and then suppose if that URL get changed, so we have to change all the URL into all the pages, right? So instead of doing that, what we will do is we will just keep our server URLs or all other the URLs into this environment file, and we refer the URL from this environment file only in all our components. So by changing that URL into only this environment.ts file, it can be changed into entire application or the components which are using this URL. So this is the main purpose of using this environment files. Then we have the index.html file. So this is the index file which runs on the browser. So this is the single index.html file. As we speak into as we know that the single creates only one single index.html file, and this is it, guys. This is the index.html file, and here we have imported our first Angular component by using its selector as a tag. So it will, what it will do is it will show we have imported or injected this component into this index file, right? So it will show all the contents which are into the app component.html file directly into this index.html file. So next we have the main.ts file. So guys, main.ts file is the entry point of any Angular application. So every Angular application start with this file only. So the main.ts file has a method called platform browser dynamic. So what this method do is, the platform browser dynamic method just create a platform on the browser so that our Angular application can run on the browser. So it just do that, and we have provided our entire app module to it so that our Angular application runs on the browser. Then we have these styles.css files into it. So this is the global style.css file. So if you write any css here, so it will just get applied to entire application globally. So this is the test.ts file where we write our unit test or any test automated testings into this file. So let's go to the app folder now. So this is the app folder, and this is the first component which is created by default by the Angular. So it has app component.css, as we discussed in previous session that Angular component creates 4 files. So this is the first file, that is CSS file, HTML file, specs file, and the TS file. So all the HTML code we want to write or we want to be show on this component, we can write it into this app.component.html file. So if we want to apply some styles to this component, so we can write the code into this app component.css file. Then we have to, if we have to write any tests for this particular component, we can write it into this specs.ts file. And if we want to write any functions that can be that should be executed by the particular Angular component, so we can write it into this ts file. So this is where we can write the scripts for our particular component. So this is a entire component of our Angular application. So this HTML file and this TS file are combined or are connected with each other by using this component @component directives. So for what it means is, for this class it is having a template of app component.html. So means whatever we function in here app component.ts file, that can be used by this app component.html file. So this is what it means. So this is the entire component. Then we have app model.ts file. So this is actually a entire module file where we import all the libraries which are required by this module, or all the components which are needed to be run on the browser or run on this application, that are imported into this declaration array. If we need to import any third party library, we can import it into this imports array. And then we are having a routing app routing model.ts. This file is get created because at the time of creating our Angular application, we have executed the command as ng new, then project name, and then space hyphen hyphen routing. So it just created this file because of that. So let's talk about what is routing. So routing means, the general meaning of routing would be going from one place to another place, right? So the routing in terms of Angular can be like navigating from one page to another page, or one component to another page can be a routing in the Angular application, right? So and the Angular routing can be done by the help of the URLs that we enter into the browser, right? So this is all about the routing, and this is the file where we mention all the routes which we're going to use in our Angular application. So so for now this is it. So now what we have to do is, we have compiled our application, and we can see our Angular application on localhost 4200, right? So now what we have to do is, we have to create some components in our Angular application and assign that component with routing, or we have to use routing for accessing those components. So just go to the VS Code, and we have to create the components, right? And we know the CLI commands for it. So the main I believe in keeping the code maintainable and clean. So we don't create any component into this app folder and make the code messy. So what we will do is, we will create a new folder into this app folder called as components. Then we will keep all our components into this component folder only. So what it will do is, it will just make your code maintainable and easy to understand as well. So what we will do is we will just copy the path from for this components folder, as we have to create the component into this folder. So we have open the new terminal. So now we have to go to that components part. So we will write change directory, then we will paste the path we have copied. So now as you can see, we are into this components directory, right? This component directory. Now we have to create components here. So for creating the components, we have the command like ng G for generate, C for component. This is the shorthand for these CLI commands. Otherwise, you can write ng generate and component and then component name. But by using the shorthand, it just speeds up the process and save our time for writing all the entire spelling for generate and component. So you can use it this way as well. So first of all, we will need a login component. So ng-gc and then component name, that is login. So this will generate a component for login. Okay, so now it has created a component named as login into our components directory, and we also need a another component. We can call it as home, nggc home. So we have just created another component name as home. So now in our components directory, we have our two components called as name, login and home. Now we have just created our component, right? We cannot access it unless we are having any roots for defined for these components, right? For accessing it. So what we will do, we will just add some roots so that we can access the particular component. So for making the roots, just go to this app routing model.ts as we discussed. So for writing the roots, we have to write the roots into this roots array. So syntax for writing root for any component is path, then we have to provide the path. So when there is no path on the browser, that is a plain localhost port 4200, then we have to specify which component to be loaded when the path is empty. So we have to mention the component here. So when there is no path, that is when we land on our website URL or website, so which component we should see. So at that time we should see the login component. So we are just click on this, so it will just auto import the login component. So now what this means is when there is no URL, we are gonna load, or the Angular router gonna load this login component. Also we have to write a path for home component as well, right? So we will just write path of home, and then component it should load is home component. It will gives us the suggestion, just click on this, so it will just auto import the component. So now we have written the paths or the roots for our Angular components. So now on the localhost 4200, we are able to see this stuff that is there, right? So now we don't, and all that content is written into this app.component.html file, as this is the first component created by a default component created by our Angular application. But we did not need, or we don't need all this stuff, so we will just delete it, and we will just keep this router.outlet thing in here. So what this router.outlet is, so the router.outlet is a directive from the Angular router. So what it does is it just checks the URL on the browser and map it with this routing, and depending upon the URL it just load that particular component. So suppose now we are not having any path on the browser, right? So there is no path on the browser, so it just loaded the login component, because we have mentioned that if there is no path we have to load the login component. And when we write this home path, or we write this home path here, so what it will do is it will just check that if this path is having any component in it in the roots, and if it found, it just load that component. Yeah, so now we can see we are having our home component here, right? When we have this route we have go to this route, and when we have nothing in the URL, it just load the login component as we have set up this, right? So till now we have just till now we have set up our routes as well. So now what we have to do is we just have to create a login form for our login page. So just go to this login component, then whatever we want to display on this login component, we have to write it into this index.html file, right? So what we will do, we will just create a simple, we don't have to write the entire HTML file for it, right? So we can just start uh, by using input and type. This is the this is a simple HTML syntax, so I hope all of you guys are familiar with it. Then text, then it will be placeholder. Let's take a placeholder called as username. Then we will break the line. Then we will take another input for password. Type will be password, and then placeholder will be, then we will again break the line, and now we will have a button called login. So let's see what we can see on the browser. Just change to this so we can see our Angular application has compiled or not. So now let's see on the browser what we can see. So we can see that the login page, we have just edited. We have this username and then password field and then a login button. So what we have to do is when the user enters this inputs and then click on the login button, so what we have to do is we have to navigate our application to the home page, right? So for doing that we have to add a event on this button. So we will add a click event. All of you guys are familiar with the events in HTML. So for Angular, we write the click event as this, in the parenthesis click, and then we have to assign a function to it. So we have assigned a function called login to it. Now this is the entire component, right? So whatever function we want to write for this component, we have to write it into this login.component.ts file, so that when the user clicks on this button, so it will trigger an event of click, and then it will search for the function name login into this login component.ts. So now into this is the class for the login component, where we can write the functions for the particular component. So this is the constructor where we can make instance of any library or any third-party library or service we want to use. And this is a ng on init lifecycle hook. So this is a standard way of this is a standard method used in every Angular component. So what it do is this hook get loads when the Angular compiler Angular component get initialized. So whatever the things we want to do when the at the time of component initialization, we can write all this function into this ng on init function as well. So now what we have to do, we have to just write a function called login, right? So what we have to do, we have to just navigate from the login page to home page, right? So for that we will need a instance of router. So we will just create it, private router, and then we will just import router here. Just click on auto import. So it will just import router from Angular router. So on click of this login button, what we have to do is we have to navigate to home page, right? So for that, our router has a method called, for accessing this router instance, we have to write it as this dot router dot navigate by URL, and then we can directly specify the URL which we have written into this app routing model.ts. So for home component, we have a URL called home. Just save it, and let's check on the browser if it works or not. So now here we are on the login component. We enter something, enter, and when we click on the login, the expected behavior is it should go to the home page, right? So now I'm clicking it. So yeah, we have successfully implemented the navigation as well. So I think we have covered all the things which we have proposed into the overview of this session. So thank you guys, thank you for watching this video. I hope this may be helpful for you, and if you like it, please like and subscribe our YouTube channel. Happy coding.